Hi, today I'll be covering the rubrics component for the pass system. So rubrics are split up between simple and matrix types. You can add one at the bottom of this table. So we could just add one, but for the purposes of this tutorial I'll just go through the peer assessment and peer assessment matrix. So going into the peer assessment, we find that we have a criteria. To add one, we just call it communication, and then we give it a name, communication. And now we have our criteria set for our rubric. Now we have to define the scale, which is the range of marks that students or evaluators will use to mark each other. So let's say 0 to 2, generate the scale. And we'll have 2 as above average, 1 as average, and 0 as below average. And we go to the next step, and right here on the left is the criteria and their descriptions, and on the right here is our scale. Now we can choose best to worst or worst to best. Now this affects how the evaluators will see the grades when they input them. So if we say worst to best, it'll start below average to above average, and if we do best to worst, it's above average to below average. We click finish, and we're back to the selecting a rubric part. Now if we go in the matrix rubric, we go here, we go to the next step for the criteria, and then we go to the next step in the scale. We define the scale, so let's say 0 to 2, and let's say we don't want to describe them, just give them numbers, so we'll keep the numbers. Now for matrix rubrics, you can describe every level per criteria. So this would be they provided full content, maybe average content, and subpar content. Now this is at each level and just for this criteria. Now we go to the next step. We'll see an example of how the rubric will be shown to the student, and we can also base that from worst to best or best to worst. Thank you for listening.